Hi. Session 2 tonight, or video 2 for tonight. On the Heavenly Spheres. We are on chapter 5, starting on page 45 with the subtitle The Nature of the Signs. And I got a pair of stronger reading glasses, so maybe I can go a little bit smoother. Each sign represents a particular group of qualities as defined by the season of the year to which it belongs, as well as its position in the zodiacal sequence. This positioning bestows upon it a specific temperament, which is the basis for its nature. Therefore, as with the planets, the signs may be classified in various ways, according to the phase of their season, beginning, middle, or end. That is, according to their mode. Mode, very important word. According to their primary qualities, that is, element, also important, and temperament, also important. According to their gender, masculine or feminine, which you can also say yin yang, positive, negative. Oh, we did this once. Onophoric, caudophoric. And according to their sect, nocturnal and diurnal, and according to the planet under which they are governed, their ruling planet. The modes. The sign that begins the seasons are called movable or cardinal, since they move or drive the characteristics of the season. The signs of the middle of the season are called fixed or solid, since they establish or fix the characteristics of the time of year. The final signs are called common, double bodied, or bicorporeal, or mutable, because they represent the time when the seasons change. At this time, the climate shares in the characteristics of the two seasons, the one ending and the one that draws near, the one that's starting. Thus, these three types, movable, fixed, and common, represent the mode of action of the sign. The movable, aka cardinal, signs that begin the seasons are characterized by a strong drive for action, a love of movement and agitation. They represent unexpected and objective actions which end as quickly as they began. The movable signs are Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn. If the movable mode describes the behavior of a person, it indicates impulsivity, impatience, difficulty respecting limits, resources and people, propensity for action, transitioning easily from ideas into actions. Any object, it will be light, dynamic, possibly sharp in its function and tied to action. An event suggests dynamism, but also a tendency to change quickly. A period of time is indicated by rapidity, immediacy. The fixed signs which signal the middle of the season are characterized by stability and durability. To them is attributed a certain conservatism and inertia. They represent cautious, defensive, but also persistent and consistent actions. The fixed signs are Taurus, Leo, they say Scorpio, and Aquarius. If the fixed mode describes the behavior of a person, it indicates a strong drive for security, continuous action, defense, and self control, but also stubbornness. Reactions that are slow, cautious, defensive, and very controlled. Rigidity and difficulty giving in. If it describes an object, it will be heavy, solid, not easily moved, its function tied to maintenance and conservation. If it's an event, it's indicated that which has long lasting impact, or a period of time is described, it suggests a long wait. The common or double bodied signs, which mark the end of the season and consequently a change in climate, are characteristically ambivalent and variable. Since they indicate a transitional phase, they present characteristics from both the previous two modes. They vacillate between rapid impulses, characteristic of the movable mode, and the tendency towards inertia, typical of the fixed mode. They are characterized by the multiplicity of action, by diversity of responses, and by a certain adaptability. The common or double bodied signs are Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces. It is common if the common or double bodied mode describes the behavior of a person, it indicates vitality, curiosity, and the capacity to adapt. Also present in this is a certain inconsistency in scattering. If it describes an object, it indicates everyday, common, of little value items, and those with more than one function. If it describes an event, it suggests simultaneous actions. Or those with multiple impacts, or if it describes a period of time, it will be of an average duration, not as long as the fixed, or as immediate as the cardinal. We're moving into the temperaments of the signs. Besides mode, each sign is associated with an element and its respective temperament. The attribution of the elements to the sign always follows the same order: fire, earth, air, water. I was trying to think of an acronym, but like FEAW. Fia, Fia. Okay. To the first sign is given fire, and to the next earth, and then air, and then water, and so on. Thus, the first sign Aries belongs to the fire element, followed by Taurus tied to the earth, Gemini to the air, and Cancer to water, and so on. This distribution obtained is summarized in Figure 11. There are, hopefully, you're actually reading along with me and have the book, because I don't think I'm going to show the pictures anymore. It just doesn't really work, I think. Okay, moving on. There are 3 signs for each element, and each of these groups is called a triplicity. The fire triplicity is made up of Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. The air triplicity is Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. The earth triplicity is Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. And the water triplicity is Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. The sign that belongs to a masculine element, the signs that belong to a masculine element, fire and air, are classified as masculine and diurnal, while those of the feminine element, earth and water, are classified as feminine and nocturnal, and was previously mentioned in the zodiacal sequence of the masculine diurnal alternate with the feminine and nocturnal ones. The masculine and diurnal signs are naturally expressive and expansive and positively project their natures. Their core is action and movement. The fire signs carry the caloric temperament, acquiring a positive, triumphant, and naturally radiant expression. They are characterized by impetuosity, that's a word, daring, aggressiveness, and the tendency to dominate. The air signs carry the sanguine temperament, more fluid and restless than the ones before. They have a dynamic expression that is sociable and relational. Its core is the intellect, communication, and curiosity. The feminine and nocturnal signs are naturally reserved and contemplative. Of an introverted nature, they express themselves in a more guarded and defensive manner. Their core is security and preservation. The earth signs carry the melancholic temperament, which gives them a great focus on practical and functional action. They are a constructive nature, appreciate solidity, and express themselves in an organized and pragmatic manner. I have the least amount of this in my chart. Fact, nothing major. Just the IC. Okay. The water signs carry the phlegmatic temperament, more unstable and wavering than the melancholic, but susceptible to sudden changes. Its core is emotionality, comfort, and security. It is from the combination of temperament and the mode that the basic characteristics of the sign are defined. That is, the fundamental nature of the sign is characterized by gender and sect, which in the signs are intimately connected by the primary qualities from which are derived element and temperament, and by mode. I'm going to read that last little bit again. I read it kind of funny. It is from the combination of temperament and mode that the basic characteristics of a sign are defined. That is, the fundamental nature of the sign is characterized by gender and sect, and by primary qualities, which are derived by element and temperament, and by the mode. Yeah. The planetary rulers. Each sign is under the dominion of a planet, which is called its ruler. The planets act as a sort of master key to the sign and contribute greatly to its characterization. The rulers of the sign are: the ruler of Aries is Mars, the ruler of Taurus is Venus, the ruler of Gemini is Mercury, the ruler of Cancer is the moon, and the ruler of Leo, that's actually funny. The ruler of Leo is the sun. The ruler of Virgo is Mercury, and then the ruler of Libra, we're going to get Venus again. And the ruler of Scorpio is Mars, and the ruler of Sagittarius is Jupiter, and the ruler of Capricorn is Saturn, and then the ruler of Aquarius is Saturn, and then the ruler of Pisces is Jupiter. Thus, the sign ruled by Mars, Aries and Scorpio, display the martial traits of conquest, wounding, and aggression. Those ruled by Venus, Taurus, and Libra display calm, peaceful, comforting, etc. traits. Obviously, these planets' shades must be contextualized by the nature of each sign. Thus, the aggressive tenor of Mars manifests itself in a more extroverted manner in Aries, which is masculine, fire, and cardinal, than it does in Scorpio, which is feminine, water, and fixed, where it manifests like defensive attitudes. The topic of planetary rulers is of prime importance in astrological interpretation and will be covered more thoroughly in subsequent chapters. While the tenor of a planet is combined with its core characteristics, when the tenor, T-E-N-O-R, almost like tone. When the tenor of a planet is combined with the core characteristics, we obtain the nature of the sign. The nature of the signs we have. You know what? I think I'm going to call it here and I'll start a new one because it takes so long to load. Okay. Incoming in a minute.